Hoya, Rainollon here. Today is another build showcase and it's the Javlok. So, let's immediately start. Let's start with mods first. The mods I'm using on my Javlok, I'm using Magnetic Capacity, which gives you magnetic damage, and Magazine Capacity, magnetic right here. Malignant Force, which gives you Toxin Stash Chance, and Prime Cry Rounds, which gives you Cold, and Toxin gives you Viral. Vital Sense for critical damage, Hammer Shot for critical damage and Stash Chance, given as app for stash chance and direct damage per stash on target, given as scope for critical chance while aiming, and given as chamber for multi-shot. These are the mods. For the Axel's weapon and depth slot mods, I would highly recommend going for Vigilance Supplies to enhance your crits and ammo economy, or Terminal Velocity for projectile speed. This is a projectile weapon. For the Arcane, Primary Deadhead is for me personally by far the best in slot. Easy access 360 increased damage, headshot multiplier, and weapon recoil. This weapon does have a 1 times headshot multiplier. With Deadhead it goes up from 1 times to 1.3 times, which is a damage increase. Passive, on 30 fire throws the spear gun. It consumes the entire magazine. You do a heat explosion in a small radius. Damage is increased by 20% for each round in the magazine when thrown. This passive is really not that good at all. This weapon also got nerfed. The base damage went from 600 to 300, which is a 50% nerf. And after the health and armor changes, it's not good at all. The reason why is that this also has a guaranteed chance to proc impact, which you can utilize internal bleeding. But like I said, the health and armor changes kind of damage slash, so it's just not that good at all. So this passive, we're just going to ignore it. For the stats, the charge time fire rate is solid for this weapon type. Magazine is kind of smallish, but maximum ammo from pickup is really good. Reload speed is decent. Accuracy is very high. It's a charged weapon. Punch through doesn't work. Riven display is quite good. Critical chance, critical damage, multi-shot is by far the best in slot, and you can easily remove hammer shot for it. Critical chance is average. We're still going to build critical chance. Crit multi is also average, and stash chance is also average. The nerf on the base damage from 600 to 300 did damage this weapon a lot, so the base damage for this type of weapon is kinda below average, I will say. It also does explode in a 2.4 meter radius, has the exact same stats, and it does less damage. So that's pretty much it. Those are the stats, the passive, the mods, the arcane, and I think it's time for me to show you this weapon in game. I'm going to use just Ember, no sentinels. I will remove the sentinel right here. No sentinels, no dogs, no secondary, no melee, just a weapon and Ember. That's it. So it's time for me to start. Give me just a second. And we are in. I'm up against the corrupted enemies at the Void. Steel Path, of course. The map is called Mod. And this weapon just is a single target DPSer that has a small AoE. The 50% nerf on the base damage to me makes no sense at all. I think they should think over it and unnerf it, you know? This weapon is not a mind-blowing weapon. The nerf on it just makes no sense to me. The nerf did came out when they did the spear gun changes. And every spear gun kinda got nerfed for some unknown reason, because they thought the outfire would be really good, but it isn't. So yeah, it's a massive shame. With buffs, it can clear, but without buffs it just isn't good at all. So I'm going to use my first ability yet again, Nourish, to just give myself a ton of increased damage. It's not good at all. It just feels old. It is an old weapon. It is an old weapon, so we can't really complain. But why did it get touched? The change was nice, but the nerf wasn't. So when it got changed, it technically didn't get changed at all. It just got nerfed. You wonder what the outfire is and how do you utilize it. You press the alternative fire mode button, which is the middle mouse, and you just toss it and do AoE. It's just embarrassing. Weird. Just weird. Strip some armor. Toss these boys on the floor. And the single target, even after the nerf, it was never like a really good one. 600 base damage is good, but for this style of weapon, it just isn't at all. Especially with the stats, it has like average crit chance, crit damage, and stash chance. And the fire rate isn't also mind-blowing. And punch through doesn't work. Just makes no sense. It's weird. Just weird. Cool version is going to save this, boys. Don't worry. If we ever get one day. The sound this weapon makes is sick. I think visually the weapon looks interesting. A spiky ball sack. At the back, you can see it. Come on. This. It just has no clear ult. No damage at all. Line of sight. There we go, some damage. Try out the internal bleeding if you want, but I will not recommend it all. I did a ton of testing and it just isn't good at all. The clear isn't really that consistent. It's better to use it like this. I would say if they unnerf the base damage, which will never happen, they don't care about it that much. But if they were to do it, there might be some chance I can make a Altfire build on this. But because of the freaking nerf, it just doesn't do a lot of damage. Especially after the armor and health changes. Internal bleeding is like much weaker. And relies on a weapon that has a lot of base damage now. So the bleed proc is like massive. But you're still not going to do a lot of damage against the Corpus Infested. Because they're kind of weaker towards Slash. Alright, Vor. Alright, it's killing Vor in a decent speed. How do I have... I think I saw 26 stacks of viral. What? On Vor, I think I saw 26 stacks. Maybe I was... maybe I'm crazy. Alright, let's see the Acolyte. The Acolyte, I can't really proc that many stacks. I need to armor strip this guy. Where are you? Oh. Alright, let me just get some shield back. I'm not doing a lot of damage. Uh-oh. Let me just grab this first before I fail the mission. And then deal with the Acolyte. Alright, please, can you die? For me. Oh my god, I'm not doing any damage. I'm headshotting the hell out of him. There we go. Oh, it flew away. Poor guy. Alright, let me just extract. I think I'm done with this weapon for now. Be right back. Javlok. It isn't good at all. I don't like it at all. I think the single target is bad and has no clear in a horde game, especially in Steel Path when you fight like 30 to 50 enemies per second. It just isn't good. It doesn't compete. It's just bad. It exists. Maybe a cool version will happen one day. Who knows? But there's so many better single target DPS weapons, and also we have clear weapons. It's just bad. It's old, outdated. The 50% nerf from the base damage makes no sense. Pick something else. I will not recommend. But that's the build. Thank you for watching the video. Leave a like, sub, and of course, see you all next time. Thank you. Goodbye.